Happy New Year and happy Wednesday. Keith Tebow from FRC Media. Thank you for joining us. It's a new year, but it's Wednesday, and we're still going to be speaking, hopefully, as much as we can weekly with the mayor of the city of Fall River. He's here for our first appearance of 2023, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you today? Happy New Year.
Same to you, Keith.
Let me just ask you, in general, maybe even personally, but maybe more professionally in the mayor's office, do you try to look at a new year as like many people do? Personally, people would want to maybe lose weight, quit smoking. Do you look at that as well when you start a new year and things you can maybe do better in the coming year?
The city is like the ocean. It just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. So it's tough to put it into that kind of a breakdown by a certain date. Obviously, there's timelines we have to meet all the time. But, again, with the new year, we had our council president and our vice president sworn in last night. And as we'll talk about something else after things march on. But from the city's perspective, there's just so many good things going on. We want to keep them rolling and keep them rolling right through 2023. I think that's what you do. You look at what we did right last year, what we could do better, and we'll modify them. And hopefully 2023 will be a great year for the city of Fall River.
And no doubt we'll talk about a number of issues as we go out through the year. As you have to meet deadlines with budget and the like. We'll talk about that at a later date. But one thing that continues to come up, it was before the council last week, was police staffing in particular. Concerns by a number of people. I know you're concerned as well at the number of staffing of officers that are on the streets in Fall River. The department has seen a number of resignations and retirements, while the levels of potential recruits seems to be smaller than it is in the past. I know this is not just a Fall River issue, but how can a city like Fall River try to make ends meet to get more police on the street?
Uh, well, we have some ideas we're working on to try to make our program for our police officers much more attractive going forward. I think you'll hear a little bit about it coming up shortly. We had 8 officers graduate from the academy on December 23rd. We have 9 more that passed the physical the other day, and we have a few potential other transfers maybe coming over. So we're going to keep our pedal to the metal, trying to bring people in here that want to, represent the city of Fall River. Our police department, as many have nationwide, has undergone changes significantly. Police work, for some reason, has kind of fallen by the wayside, regretfully, because the guys in Fall River do by and large, a really, really good job. And I think most police do a good job. I think what happened nationally drove people away from that profession. We have to make it attractive. We have to focus on community policing, on things we can do better to protect our residents, protect our officers, protect the city. There's things we can do, and we're working on them with both members of the union, the administration, the city council. You put a team approach together, and we keep banging around ideas that we think can improve the quality of life for the residents in the city. And obviously, public safety is always right at the top of the charts, along with education and infrastructure, things like that. People want to see that in the city, and we're going to keep working on it to make it more efficient and more of a great public service avenue for people to pursue.
Now, in terms of enticing new officers, I know members of the Patrolmen's Association was talking about maybe some financial inducements, some incentives. Is that anything like that on the table?
Oh, absolutely. Those are all on the table. We're looking at things. Fall River, has a couple of things we do a little different than other communities that we may be able to modify to make it more attractive for officers to come here, and those are all on the table right now.
And I believe the city is still in negotiations with the Patrolmen's Association on a new agreement. So in some ways, this may be a good opportunity, right, to get some of these things in, as well as meeting any concerns that both the city and the union may have, right?
Yeah, I think the contract is almost done, Keith. We'll know one way or the other shortly, and that would be another step to improving hopefully the police department in the city of Fall River, if we can get that contract passed.
Yeah. On the other side, in terms of the fire department, hearing a quote you had made to WSAR radio, looks like that, recruitment there, the numbers are stable, and there's a good group of potential recruits that are available for the fire department if need be.
Yeah, the fire department seems to have a much bigger pool of recruits to draw from, and that's to our benefit because then we can get quality candidates in representing the city of Fall River. So the fire department is kind of in a different situation than the police department. Police departments around Massachusetts and the country are just in a different recruiting time for them. I was talking last night briefly with the chief in New Bedford, and it's a very similar story. So, I mean, this is what's going on in police right now. Fire is kind of in a separate category. We don't have the recruitment issues there, but again, we appreciate the work our fire department does every day.
Moving on to an event that happened last night, Fall River was the home of the inauguration of Bristol County's new sheriff, Sheriff Paul Heroux, who was inaugurated last night at the new Nagel Auditorium at BMC Durfee High School. Another good feather in the cap of the city of Fall River to host such an event. And I know you've had some relationship with the former mayor of Attleboro now in the past. And how do you think he'll do serving Bristol County as sheriff?
I think he'll do fine. He's got strong administrative experience, as I said last night, running a city. He knows how to manage people and manage operations, and that's going to be over there in the sheriff's department. I know he's talked to me a lot about rehabilitation, reform, areas where he wants to try to weave people back into society. He thinks that could be a hallmark of his administration, and obviously the sheriff's office is another big component in public safety. So I know he'll be working with the local law enforcement people and the community, and we'll see how he does. Again, he's hitting the ground running today, so good luck to him.
All right. And finally, this week, just a little update. Just before Thanksgiving, the city held a contest gaining city residents' input on a new city logo. I know that deadline was around the end of November. Any updates on the logo and any updates on the city's new website and how that's
Yeah, the,
progressing?
the website is coming along, and the logo announcement will be within the next week or two. We do have a winner, but we're not ready to roll that out yet. It's going to be in conjunction with the website, hopefully, so that it all ties in together to make a common theme for the city of Fall River. It's as I said from the get go, the amount of applications and entries into that contest were very, very daunting, and I don't envy the committee that had to weave through that and come up with the winner. But I think it's all going to tie in to make Fall River much more efficient and friendly.
Yeah, and I know when we spoke about the logo, there really was going to be no loser, as all of those all those options were really good and really great, and really showed the creativity of not only local. I know there were some local entries, but also those from around the country. So that's always
Right.
good to see.
It was great.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did it. It was really a nice project.
yeah. All right, Mayor Paul Coogan, Happy New Year. We'll talk again next week, and thank you for joining me.
Okay, thanks, Keith. I appreciate it.
All right, and thank you for joining us here on FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week.